Yes, if you saw the thumbnail and clicked on this video, I did in fact punch the G Willikers out of my bottle trying to beat this section of Silksong. Now, before I have joked with my friends that I would punch metal for fun as a little hullabaloo, like acting as a tough guy in front of my friends, but that was not true until today. There was no bone to stone contact with the bottle though, as it was acquired through a hammer fist technique, such I would use against my desk in primary years of video game CRASHOUTs. Now you're probably... Now if you're at this point, you're probably thinking I'm juvenile for the circumstances that doth rage me so, and you would be right. But let me tell you man, this section of the game sucks. Like, straddle your seats, buckle your titty knockers. This section is a huge difficulty spike in Silksong. For instance, the internal struggle against these waves and sequential abuse my bottle undertook occurred over a 3-day period where I would grind this section after a hard day's work. And by this point you're probably asking how some unemployed rat like me has a job. And I don't know, but I surprisingly do. But yeah, anyway, back to the juicy gameplay here. The first time I came through this section I was underleveled as hell, as I had the base amount of masks, which is the life system in this game. If this is not your first time, the bare requirements I recommend to make this possible enough, so your metal bottle, having a stroke there, so the metal bottle that you possibly have is only slightly dinged, or slightly less dinged than mine, would be to have an additional mask, the tax tool, not like tax like as in the fucking thing the government does, like you'd stick into a balloon tax, which by the end of the video you'll see those, so don't click off. And to get tax you'll have to go to Sinner's Road and complete a quest from Dumb and Dumber, so make sure you do that before coming here. That's my recommendation. And then of course kit pouch upgrades so your tools do more damage are essential, and there's also a poison tool item that I use, like an ability trinket from early in the game, so make sure you have that too. Now something else you probably see me doing in these fights is sprint dashing cuts, which makes damaging these goons real easy and reduces damage from accidentally running into enemies, which I still procure over this run, as you'll see. But yeah, from then on it's as simple as gaining silk from dealing damage, healing when you need to, and targeting specific enemies like these little bug things that drop bells that you've probably seen by this point. And later on there's charged attacks that I use against the things that have the spinning bees around them. I hate those spinning bees enemies. But yeah, from that point on it's practice, practice, practice. By this point as well, there's these big fat enemies you've probably seen by now. They're like I don't know, a cockroach or something, but they're really strong. They do two masks of damage, and if you run into it on accident it's also 2 masks of damage, as well as they do this jumping attack and they leave this lingering bomb or whatever. That's super annoying, so watch out for that. Oh, if you're still around here by this point, it's only halfway through, I would say, and the show must go on. The video is longer, as you probably see, so I realized I would run out of commentary by this point in the fight, so I will delve into the first time I masturbated as a wee lad, because why not just come back last, seeing red, PTSD, man. Anyway, just come blast a slug of content and see what sticks here on YouTube, because why not? To start in such a prime age with such small dimensions, I could honestly fit into almost any place, like physically, like my body and the hog. Anyway, And much like the fantasies of this one over-exaggerative girl I once knew from high school describing the places she would insert it if she had one, I did. Yep, I don't know how Moist Critical does these with a straight face, man. Anyway, I found it a bit of a whimsical hullabaloo when it got hard, so I would just go exploring. I would put it in a toilet roll, doorstop tube, in between the handles of the cupboards, really fucking everywhere, man. This would include slamming the little soldier between the toilet seat and the rim of the toilet bowl. This was probably the first time I discovered my mini pecker had a white demon inside of him, and possibly the easiest cleanup of all time. To start this new chapter, having a stroke. Having a stroke, lol. That's funny, double meaning. Anyway, to start this new chapter of my adolescent career. Alright, let's hope I don't slug my words here so I don't have to say these out loud over and over again. The feds, which are my family, outside, I don't want them hearing this because, and I'm whispering right now even because of fucking crippling anxiety. Anyway. Let's clash on. This would then be followed by the soap bottle nut. Then the precious combo of slime, a doorstop cover, and the flashback of a wet bikini car wash video I was inspired to search for by a show I saw my dad watching late at night when I was an even smaller lad. Then as my Winky Stinky grew too big for these escapades, then I had to improvise like Iron Man after taking shrapnel to the heart. Just like him in the cave, I would be inspired from the motions I saw in media and from twats in primary school of the modern technique that is phallic masturbation, which led me to the fucking stroking it again there, holy shit. Which led me to the meta tactic, which is the use of one's own hand. Yep. Anyway, that about wraps up this story. Bye. It shall be painful.